We are all looking for something. For some people it's peace, for some people it's freedom. For me, it's always been adventure. Let me take you on a journey around the world. Everything can change in 9 months' time. This is my story. As I was sitting down in front of a desk at my dad's house, I wrote that text, planning to script out my ideal 9 months to come. Funnily enough, I realized I could write that same exact script about the past 9 months. I've been traveling 9 months over the entire world, just to end up back in this place, sitting in front of a desk at my dad's house, writing how I wanted everything to change in the coming 9 months again. Not realizing how much in my life has actually changed since I last sat there. The last time I sat here, I was a kid with a bunch of hopes and dreams. All I knew is that I wanted to travel the world. That was about 10 months ago. Let me tell you the story of how I traveled the world for 9 months and lived an adventure of a lifetime. The day is October 15, 2024. I packed my bags and headed to the airport to fly to Bali. I hugged my parents goodbye and told them I didn't know when I was going to be back. I still remember all the feelings I had on the plane ride there. Fear, excitement, doubts, and all the rest of it. I was as happy as any 20-year-old videographer flying to Bali would be. I arrived in Bali, and for one of the first times in my life, I felt free. I felt like I had the whole world at my feet. 2.5 months in Bali flew by. Workouts at the best gyms in the world, sauna and ice baths afterwards. During the weekends, I explored waterfalls, I explored nearby islands. Lots of steak dinners, and I decided to shave my head. Lots of surfing, lots of coffees, restaurants, and working from my laptop at cafes. I even fell in love with this girl. This really was the dream life. Then I flew to the Philippines. The best way to describe it was that this was a hectic experience. When I arrived at the airport, I got on a little group bus that drove to the main area of the island. I decided to rent a scooter for the next 2 weeks. When I looked at my Airbnb reservation, I realized I hadn't booked an Airbnb on the south shore of the island, but on the north shore, 1.5 hours away. Because I had my suitcase with me and I already had a scooter, I decided to drive there myself. I wrapped my suitcase on the back and I headed north. After a long but beautiful ride, I arrived at my destination. My time in the Philippines was filled with exploring the island, shooting videos, surfing on the north shore, and eating the best smoothie bowls. I remember driving around the island, having the best time, absolutely ripping it on my scooter. Even when it was dark and rainy, I had music in my ears and was enjoying myself. I was done feeling lonely on the north shore of the island, so I decided to go down to the south to finally find some community. For the first time in my travels, I decided to stay in a hostel. When I arrived, I started chatting with some people and instantly made some new friends. On one of the nights in town, while I was driving home from dinner, I got in a bike accident. I crashed into 2 guys on a bike, what felt like it could have ended it all. Luckily, we all got away with a few scratches and nothing serious, but it definitely was a frightening experience. After that happened, I didn't really get the rest in the Philippines that I needed, and I decided I would fly back to Bali, which at that point felt like home. After all, I was going to need to rest and recover before I would head to Florida for a video project. I said my goodbyes to my friends in Bali and I flew to Florida. Again, I jumped completely into the unknown, to the other side of the world again. I didn't know for how long I was going to be there or what it was going to be like, but it felt really good. I was super stoked and I felt alive again. In Florida, I was lights, camera, action again. A focused week of work. Early mornings at sunrise every day, followed by movement sessions, ocean dips, workouts, and group dinners every evening. This felt like an extremely healthy and nourishing environment to be in. It showed me the importance of like-minded community. Everybody was there waking up with the sun every morning, showing up for their body, and then nourishing themselves with extremely good home-cooked meals and having good conversations with each other. It seemed as if this was the way people are supposed to be living together in community, if there is such a model. These were long days of work, working into the evening, but it felt like purpose, and perhaps like Ikigai itself. Then we filmed another event in Florida. 2 full days of shooting movement seminars, training sessions, and a roundtable podcast. Something I hadn't done before, but I think we totally crushed it. After we wrapped up everything there was to do in Florida, we headed to Los Angeles. Ben had scheduled a bone marrow stem cell donation, and I joined him for the day to film it. We got to see some of LA. I had only seen his place in movies and heard things about it, so it was cool to see it in person. Then we flew way down south to Puerto Escondido, a place I had been told about for a while and heard many good things about. It's a laid-back surfer town which attracts surfers from all over the world. It has amazing Mexican food, tons of beautiful girls and endless waves, a place where the adventure really took off again. Every night we would go to the local taquera and order 10 tacos al pastor y 10 tacos bistec. And if you don't know Spanish, that means 10 tacos with pineapple and pork and 10 tacos with steak. That was our routine. We would do creative work during the day, eat tacos at night, and in between we would surf at sunset, hit the beach, and ride motorcycles. When my work for BAM was finished, I decided I wanted a jump into the unknown again, and I flew to Hawaii. Again, I didn't know many people there. I didn't have a lot of money, but I had a lot of faith, and thank God I did, because I had the time of my life here. After arriving at the airport, I quickly rented a car, and then I would just drive anywhere I wanted to go. I could talk all about this place, but I think it's better if I just show you.
Right, run club.
I'm running around looking for peace.
Wow, looks like Hawaii.
Aloha.
Aloha.
This is my friend Iwar. He's jumping out of airplanes today. How you feeling, brother?
Feeling good.
Anything you want to say before we go, man?
I'm just ready to go. Let's go.
You're always around to make me smile. Stuck underwater, I'm stuck underwater. I just need some space, my friend. It's not what you wanted, it's not what you wanted. But I just need a change again. Help me out before I drown. Save me now before I give up. Help me out before I drown. I just need some insight. I'm drifting around, watching the birds fly by. So come out and shake me. I'm caught in the waves, pulling me down.
I had explored everything Oahu had to offer, and after spending almost 2 months on the island, I received a message from a homeowner in Maui asking me if I wanted to come and shoot some videos for them. I think you already know what my answer was. I brought 2 friends with me, and in 60 hours we explored all of Maui, including the Haleakala summit, a place I had only seen in videos and I've always wanted to see it in real life.
again. Moving on forward. Sticking stones won't break a bones. We're in the car on a highway. It's so magical, feeling that no one's got a hold. You're a catalyst to your own happiness, you know. And it's your heart, it's alive, it's pumping
And finally, I had to hug my sweet Ohana in Oahu goodbye to head over to Oregon for another primal retreat. This time it was a reset in nature. 4 days, no phones and no distractions. Just purely movement, spending time in nature and living in community.
in the front seat. It's the best of worlds, feeling like nothing can go wrong. You're the decider of the world.
After reset, we filmed some more content for Paluva and went for a surf session at this beautiful place.
'Cause it's your heart, it's alive, it's pumping blood. And it's your heart.
After this retreat, I went to Medellin, Colombia. At this point, I was getting pretty used to flying into places where I wouldn't know anybody, and I quickly found a like-minded community again. I invited Julian to join me in Colombia. We had a great time together, enjoying delicious foods, lots of salsa nights, and martial arts trainings. After spending 1.5 months in Colombia, I decided to end my trip there. And within 24 hours, I was on a flight back home. Mixed feelings again, excited to see my family again, curious to see if things had changed back home, and sad that it all ended. But overall, I was content. I looked forward to being back home after having spent 9 months on the road non-stop.
I just flew into Bogota. I'm in Bogota airport right now. I feel like life is moving really fast, and for some reason, more than just catching up with my family, I'm meant to fly to the Netherlands. I think for like some reset or recalibration in my life, like finding where my roots came from, finding why I started living this wild adventurous lifestyle in the first place, and maybe regain some more inspiration and insights of what I'm here to do in the world. I'm actually looking forward to it, to seeing my family again, to seeing the place where I grew up in, to seeing where I come from.
That's where I ended my trip. 9 months of full-time travel. 5 countries, 3 continents, and a whole lot of new memories. This was my year of travel, and I'll see you on the next one. Alright, let's roll that final sequence.
What you gotta say for that? What you gotta say? El que nos es un gringo!